And once again, he crawls his way from the grave in an attempt to do the vloggy thing. What's up, boys and girls? It is I, your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the toxic gatekeeper, the man who makes D&D no fun, the OG GM adventures, and we are continuing with our Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, OG GM, and talk about superhero role-playing games. And of course, we can't talk about my top 5 superhero role-playing games without talking about this delicious piece of awfulness, the beautiful disaster that is Heroes Unlimited. And what can I say about this amazing game that hasn't already been said? Some consider this one of the worst role-playing systems ever. Pretty much all of Paladium, especially this one. And some consider this a hidden gem that just needs a little love and a lot of editing and rewriting and playtesting. But a little love. Heroes Unlimited holds a special place in my heart. One, because it has so much potential to be amazing, but somehow they just missed the mark, and it just became the muddled mess that it is. And second, and I have said this over and over again, and I will continue to say it, it has by far the best description of powers I have ever seen. Sure, a lot of superhero role-playing games describe their powers, and other superhero games, no, they just say you have 3d6 energy blast. That's sticky. And some say, oh, well, you have web powers, and, web powers can create 10 pounds per level of, goop that, and, anybody trying to break through that needs to make this check, and some, but for pure detail and pure lists and pure research of what a power actually can do, I have yet to find a game that tops this. I mean, just sonic powers, but they go into describing decibels and high-pitched whines and how much sound it takes to break glass and how far sound actually travels and what the speed of sound actually is. I mean, there's a lot of hidden scientific research in here and a lot of hidden knowledge in here. That's just amazing. Like, I wouldn't know that 40 decibels is like traffic. Who knows that? But these guys did. And they put it in the game because they felt that at some point in time it might come up. Can I use my sonic powers to duplicate this noise? And how much damage does it do? And how many decibels it is? And can I pick up radio signals? And they go into it in a way that I've yet to find another game that does. There probably is other games that do it, but I don't know of them. At least not yet. My research will continue. So that alone makes this game amazing. And I will say that no matter what superhero system I'm running, if it's not going to be a one-shot, if I actually think it's going to last, I crib the power descriptions and give them to people if they ask because it's just so amazing. Yeah. Also, the art is just amazing. Now, Paladium is infamous for constantly reusing art over and over again, especially in the character creation and combat sections. I mean, you have Paladium books, you have probably seen several of these pictures 10, 15, 20 times. I mean, this one alone, I think, is almost in every Paladium book. This one, too, every Paladium book. Yeah, I mean, even the fantasy books. Yeah, there's a lot of art that is reused over and over and over and over and over again in Paladium. I don't know if they just didn't want to pay, like that picture right there is also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and in a couple other games. So it's just, who knows why? I guess it was just cheaper, probably. There's another one, the Stephen Strange looking ripoff has been used in several of their products. So if their art is amazing, especially the art in Rifts, but the art in this one too, and the amount of detail, the amount of detail that they put in this system, like how much does it cost for lug nuts in your giant robot? Oh, well, they've got it. What kind of power supplies are available to build a giant robot? They got it. I mean, just sheer detail, just sheer research, just building a superhero world and all the questions that might come up that, were just sort of glossed over in comic books. But in role playing, we ask lots of questions, and sometimes those questions go far beyond just 2d6 energy blasts. So, yeah, that is definitely one of the strong points. The research, the detail, whatever. Now, the weak points, which I've gone over and over and over and over again, is everything else about this game. It's just badly organized. It's badly edited. And there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense. I mean, almost every Paladium Heroes Unlimited game I ever played, there was stuff we just ignored. Because, I don't know what this means and I can't find the rules for it, so I'm just, whatever. I'm just going to ignore it, Also, it's very easy to make incredibly powerful broken characters here if you just pick the right skills and the right origins, because there's so many ways to stack pluses and bonuses and mods and rolls with that. Even, Joe the janitor is pretty tough. And then when you add in books like, martial arts and whatever and tech and just guns, and it can just get crazy. But it's just so badly organized. I mean, the character creation system takes up one half of, first there's character creation rules in the beginning of the game, then there's character creation rules in the middle of the game, and then there's more character creation rules at the end of the game. So just the editing alone. And also by making each power quarter category a class, like aliens is a class, and aliens have access to powers and abilities and stats that nobody else does, but you can only roll on the alien chart, as opposed to just, like Marvel or V&V or some of the other random power games where just like roll the powers and then come up with your origin. This one is like, okay, this is your origin. This is all that you get. If you're playing this guy, you can't, do any of this shit, but you can do this shit. So, whatever. I mean, that's a good idea. It definitely breaking characters down into archetypes, but then just making them like classes like D&D. You can just feel the D&D D20 vibe just permeating. And technically, this is a D20 percentile system. Just so overly complicated. I mean, just so overly complex and so never, ever, ever finished. I mean, where are the character sheets? I think they're in the middle. They're on the back. Like, look at this. This from Armors and Weapons has been reproduced so many times. It's from their very first product. But this should be the character record sheet. But no, it's an amazing equipment section. Actually, some of their equipment sections are even better than this. But again, the amount of detail these guys put into everything is just great. But the organization of the game, mine's starting to fall apart. The editing, the fact that the game just doesn't flow when it gets to the dice rolling part, but the imagination, the organization, the ideas, the detail definitely makes this like an overview of how almost to write a superhero role-playing game, but it's too much crunch, too much slog. Just the system makes very little sense. The book is badly edited and organized, and just so much. Just one more round of editing, and maybe cut the size of it in half from 300 some odd pages to 200 some odd pages, and maybe some art that we haven't already seen 10,000 times by the time we pick this up if we have been following Paladium. Just one more round of editing. Now, there were rumors constantly cycling through that they were going to do more stuff with HU than they ever did, and the third edition was going to come out. They did the Powers Unlimited books. They did some world books. But, it was just add-ons to an already clunky system, and that with riffs and plus, ninjas and super spies and the other Paladium products, which could all be sort of used together, just made it way more clunky. I mean, it was fun, and I played it a lot for 2-3 years, but, there was always that feeling like, I don't know if we're doing this right. But whatever. I love this game. I love the power section. I love the detail. It is just a great resource for looking stuff up. It's like an encyclopedia. If I just need to know, the range of a rifle and, how much time it takes to clean and, get a rifle ready, this game has it. But rules? Yeah. One more round of editing. One more round of playtesting, and it just will be awesome. Will there ever be a Palladium 3rd edition? Will there ever be anything going on with Paladium? Now, Paladium is one of those companies that has stuff always in print. If you look for it, you can find Paladium stuff. Stuff for Rifts, stuff for Splicers, stuff for Paladium Fantasy, even stuff for Heroes Unlimited is always in print. Whether they're reprinting older stuff or just teasing newer stuff like once every 3 or 4 months, because as long as they're still printing stuff and holding the printing stuff and saying, yes, we have this in stock, they hold the copyright to everything, and nobody else can do anything with the Heroes Unlimited properties or the properties that they used. I mean, the whole thing with Robotech, where they had Robotech forever, and then they let that copyright drop for 5 seconds, and somebody else whipped it out from underneath them, and then, just whatever. And of course, the same thing with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and a couple other product lines that they had for a while, but they just, so they were very now protective of the stuff they still have. So you will always see at least one thing of theirs in print. But they never really come up with anything new, and they haven't in a while. They'll just reprint stuff or remodify stuff. But, this game is desperate need of a 3rd edition. But I love it. I love it. I love this game. It's my favorite go-to for looking things up. I can't say enough about what a beautiful disaster this game is. So check it out, losers. Click the links below. Like, share, subscribe, make me a sandwich, and I'll talk to you soon.